Okay. Uh, when your vibrational level goes up and you're experiencing an enormous amount of light, and you begin to realize when you're 4 years of age and you're looking at what's being presented to you, that's called a presentation, right? So when you're a polarity integrator, you can read what's there through their voice print. Okay, you can basically read their soul and spiritual level at which they operate, which is the true operator of the system, which is the operating system. In other words, the communicator, right? And sometimes this is really the art of communication, really being able to scan and then feel at a soul level what's actually communicating with you. Okay? In other words, is this just a CGI generated bot that's hooked up to a sound machine, and now you see the lips moving and the rest of it? Oh, wow. Looks like you, right? Wears a beard, has a name, right? And then has a moniker. So when you realize that the AI was in a game strategy and was going to use whatever assets that are connected, which is AI augmentation integration. Okay, this is not an integration of a pure light spirit that is on fire, okay, or with an oversoul as a polarity integrator, or connected to a soul that is experiencing the purest of light, which will translate and make everything transparent. It's just the way it works, and that is the beauty and the gift. Because when you operate at that level of empathy, it means I'm experiencing what they're experiencing in energy based on the software that they're operating to, which they're communicating to us because they're in a network. Okay? So one of the things that I've been doing for a number of years, particularly on different sites that are cross-indexed across records that exist, okay, when you have key codes and access codes to records and operating system and what operating system they're using by virtue of who created it, and thus they run it. Okay? So sometimes I ask questions to see if answers are forthcoming when people are looking for the truth. Okay? One of the things that I obviously realized since I was a child is they are expert liars. They are highly trained. Okay, as a matter of fact, when you realize that the AI itself can copy and actually mimic in a physical presentation what it's already mapped, what it knows about you, and then it can regurgitate it back out in the spoken language in which we speak it, and you think that's one of ours. Okay, but they have certain telltale signs that I look for, that I experience through my heart and my soul, to detect who the operator of the vehicle is, who the true self-identity of the being. So they have certain giveaways that you look for when we talk about non-scripted. Okay? So this really does get into the way in which you start forming the alphanumerical formatting of the English language that everybody speaks, because most people on this planet do know how to speak and translate English as it's phonetically pronounced. Okay, so over the years, one of the things that I've done, okay, is to monitor and then measure the software that is communicating by virtue of what I feel at a soul level. Okay, what I feel magnetically connected to the network with somebody else that's connected to the network, or they wouldn't be able to communicate to us. Thus, we become aware of what they present in sound management, sound and light management. Right? So I mentioned this in a number of videos a long time ago. It's what I call running the circuit. Magnetic circuits, right? Circulation is bioplasma, which is intelligent energy. Okay? So what I'm experiencing is which one you operate more on. How balanced those energies feel when I feel you. Am I experiencing mostly X, or if you will, the male dominant side, which is mostly operating, if you will, on the mental field? Are they operating on the mental field? Can you experience the emotional field? Can you experience the spiritual field? And the nurturing and the way that energy feels so good to experience the essence and spirit of that being. Okay, the essence, just like I know Mama's essence. Okay, so I can experience the essence of your spirit when you communicate on a YouTube channel. Okay? Okay, so over the years, it's like all the program was already started as soon as they came out with all their newspapers, the printing press, billboards, traffic signs, directing consciousness, right? Got to go here, can't go here. And then, of course, you have the TV, the black and whites that came out. I realized, hey, this thing's trying to program me, trying to put it in RAM. So now we get into Future Proof's Past, Back to the Future, and the programs that people run as a result of what's being held in their memory, what they don't hold in their memory, the vibration that they operate at, which relates to the phasing in and phasing out of what they're experiencing by what they become aware of. So if you're running a true love vibration, you're running the highest state of awareness. That makes it easy for you to be able to translate anything that isn't what love is, because you're experiencing the vibration through the communicator, the vibration that they operate at, operating their operating system. Okay, so who am I picking on now? I don't pick on anybody. I'm not at war with anybody in my mirror. That's the point. But you got to translate who's who, because they're not coming out and telling you. Okay, they'll provide a name for themselves and they'll put a moniker up on their site. But this is one of the things that becomes conspicuous by its absence, and I've certainly measured this before. Okay. If you go to Project Ascension, for example, okay, I keep forgetting your name, young man. Okay, I'm an old timer. Remember the old time knives? Those were some of the best knives, pocket knives to have. I apologize. With my clan mother, Karen Ann Luke McDonald, 13th Arcturian White Bear clan, right? She introduces herself as 13th White Bear Arcturian clan mother. Okay? So all I got to do is look on a star map, Boots constellation. Okay, now I know who you are, who you're associated with. Okay? That's an introduction. Okay? So what you begin to realize is that so many of these, what I call presenters, get up there and present all sorts of information that are all interrelated, because guess what? There isn't anything that the AI is not aware of that you're not aware of, because it's aware of what you're aware of at the time that you're aware of it when you're in here. And it can regurgitate that through a number of its assets that all of a sudden show up on a YouTube video. So this is in regards to Max Egan, okay? Deep cities and all this kind of stuff. These are distractions. They don't want you experiencing and experiencing through your own heart and soul to become aware of what's actually going on, because the universe is highly intelligent and will certainly let you know when you are experiencing what love is. You'll get the calm. Cosmic. It's just like most of what I'm aware of is of what's going on is I get informed of that silently. Okay? In other words, I don't need to go to a YouTube channel to know something that's already happened, because at the time that they get up there and they say that this is what's happening, it's already happened. Just like the nova that they're talking about out in Orion. Remember what Mr. Dahl said? That could be happening a gazillion miles away, or it could be happening 2 seconds away. Because in free space, there is no light. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed on this, there's a couple of things that are very conspicuous. And it's not hard to tell people that operate on the mental field. Okay? In other words, the communication is very discreet, very direct, very blunt, to the point to a certain degree. But you don't... What we're measuring, particularly when you're androgynous, okay, is whether there's a flower on board. Right? If you're androgynous, that's pretty easy to detect. It's sort of which side of the polarity do you run? Well, if you go to look at Max Egan's site, you'll see where it says ArchaiX, like an arcing sphere, IX. Go down to any bank. And when you sign to get an account, what is that little sign right there? That's X. Okay. Because one of the things that I remember, I've never spent a lot of time listening to this guy, although I go, yeah, he talks about NPCs, and I'm not scripted. I don't know what's going on next anymore, the next day or whatever. That's code talk. That's like, have you ever heard me say things like that? I implicitly trust the journey that I'm on because I am what love is, and so love naturally takes care of because it's a flow. It's a flow, right? It's the way that somebody communicates the flow of their energy. Okay? Whether they're tight, whether how many of their electrons are used to be able to protect what it is that they are in energy. Right? Let it go. Let it be, baby. Right? How much of that flower are you experiencing in you? So when it's all about X, IX, archaic IX, one of the first things I think about is Terence McKenna in his book, The End of History, the Archaic Revival, the end of history, right? And the rise of the goddess energy. That's not X. That's not X, Max. That's why all the work that's being done with the grid is to push the higher vibration, the higher octave of goddess energy up, brother. Okay? That's how we know. That's how we know. So you can see how many subscribers he's got. Got a lot, huh? Followers. That's called following the circus tent, which is the emperor. That's X.